الحمد للہ وکفیٰ وسلام علی عبادہ الذین اصطفیٰ اما بعد۔ اخلاق رذیلہ کا امالہ۔ وجود اخلاق رذیلہ کا یا وجود اخلاق رذیلہ مذموم نہیں ہے، عمل بمقتضی الاخلاق الرذیلہ مذموم و منہی عنہ ہے۔ مثلا وجود غصے کا مذموم نہیں، لیکن اس کو بے محل صرف کرنا ناجائز ہے۔ مجاہدے سے پہلے بے موقع غصے میں چلاتا تھا، اب موقع پر چلاتا ہے۔ نہ یہ کہ بے موقع کبھی غصہ آتا ہی نہیں، اور دلیل اس کی یہ ہے کہ حق تعالیٰ نے فرمایا ہے لا یکلف اللہ نفسا الا وسعها، تو اخلاق رذیلہ کے ازالے پر قدرت نہیں ہے، ہاں ان کو بے محل صرف نہ کرنے پر قدرت دی گئی ہے، اس لیے صرف اسی کی تکلیف دی گئی ہے۔ جب یہ بات ہے تو ان اخلاق رذیلہ کے ابھرنے اور ان سے متاثر ہو جانے سے غمگین اور نا امید ہو جانا محض بے وجہ ہے۔ اکثر لوگ اخلاق رذیلہ کو زائل کرتے ہیں اور پھر اخلاق محمودہ پیدا کرتے ہیں۔ ہمارے حضرت رحمۃ اللہ علیہ فرمایا کرتے تھے کہ ازالہ بالکلیہ نہیں چاہیے۔ ازالہ کا مطلب ہے اریز کر دینا، بالکلیہ یعنی ٹوٹلی، کیونکہ جب اس خلق کی ضرورت ہوگی اس خلق کی ضرورت ہوگی تو کیا کرے گا؟ مثلا شہوت، بلکہ تعدیل چاہیے، یعنی کنٹرول اور جسٹس چاہیے۔ صفات ذمیمہ اپنے محل و مصرف پر ہوں تو بری نہیں، اور اگر بے محل ہوں یعنی اپنی جگہ سے ہٹی ہوئی ہوں تو بری ہیں۔ مثلا بخل یعنی کنجوسی، اگر کسی اچھی جگہ کیا جاوے تو برا ہے، اور اگر کسی بری جگہ کیا جاوے تو برا نہیں۔ مثلا فواحشات میں چندہ دینے سے بخل کیا۔ رذائل کا ازالہ نہ کرو، صرف امالہ کافی، امالہ یعنی دبا لینا، ان کو لٹا دینا، پچھاڑ دینا۔ غرض ازالے کی فکر ضروری نہیں، اضمحلال بھی کافی ہے، مگر اضمحلال کے لیے اس کی مشق ضروری ہے، اور مشق ہوتی ہے کثرت تکرار سے۔ یہ نہ ہو الحائق اذا صلی یوما انتظر الوحی، کہ 2 دن مخالفت نفس کر کے اپنے آپ کو کامل سمجھنے لگے۔ کثرت تکرار میں جو خاصیت ہے اس کا اثر یہ ہوتا ہے کہ ایک دن انشاءاللہ یہ رذیلہ کمزور ہو جائے گا۔ بعض حکماء اس نقطے کو نہیں سمجھے، وہ کہتے ہیں کہ عادات نہیں بدلا کرتی، اس لیے مجاہدہ فضول ہے، مگر وہ یہ نہیں سمجھے کہ عادت کے خلاف عادت ہو جانے سے پہلی عادات ایسی کمزور ہو جاتی ہیں کہ گویا تھی ہی نہیں، اور اس کا انکار نہیں ہو سکتا۔ مشائخ طریق کے ہاں رات دن ایسی نظائر مشاہدے میں آتی ہیں کہ مجاہدات و کثرت مخالفت سے اخلاق رذیلہ گو معدوم نہیں مگر کل عدم ضرور ہو جاتے ہیں، یعنی بالکل تو اریز نہیں ہوتے، بالکل انائلیٹ تو نہیں ہوتے، لیکن لائک انائلیٹڈ ہو جاتے ہیں۔ اور یہ طریقہ ایسا آسان ہے جو ہر شخص کے اختیار میں ہے کہ اپنے قصد و اختیار سے رذائل کی مخالفت نفس کیا کرے۔ فرمایا کہ اخلاق ذمیمہ کے علاج میں صرف ذکر و شغل کافی ہونے کے لیے میرے دل میں ایک نئی بات آئی ہے جو اس سے پہلے ذہن میں نہ آئی تھی، وہ یہ کہ چونکہ اللہ کے ذکر سے یعنی ذکر اللہ سے قلب میں ایک قسم کا نور و انشراح اور انبساط پیدا ہوتا ہے، اور معصیت سرزد ہوتی ہے تو وہ نور جو ذکر سے حاصل ہوا تھا مبدل بظلمت و کدورت ہو جاتی ہے، یعنی اللہ تعالیٰ کا ذکر کر کے نور حاصل ہوتا ہے، اور وہ جب کوئی گناہ کر لے تو وہ نور جو ہے وہ کدورت سے اور سیاہی سے بدل جاتا ہے۔ تو جو نور کی خوشی اور نور کا مزہ پہلے حاصل ہو رہا ہوتا ہے، جو حظ اس کو پہلے حاصل تھا، وہ زائل ہو جاتا ہے، وہ ضائع ہو جاتا ہے، اس لیے اس کو فوراً اس معصیت پر تنبہ ہو جاتا ہے۔ تو اس وجہ سے اس گناہ پر انسان کو وارننگ ہو جاتی ہے اور اس سے متنفر ہو جاتا ہے، اور اس سے انسان کو نفرت ہو جاتی ہے کہ میرا اتنا مزے کی زندگی، اتنی نور والی، خوشیوں والی، روشن زندگی گزر رہی تھی، اور اب اس گناہ کی وجہ سے وہ اس میں سیاہی آ گئی، اندھیرا آ گیا، تو اس گناہ سے اس وجہ سے نفرت ہو جاتی ہے، رفتہ رفتہ تمام معاصی سے نفرت ہو جاتی ہے۔ اور اسی طرح صرف ذکر و شغل ہی اخلاق ذمیمہ کے علاج کے لیے کافی ہو جاتے ہیں، بشرطے کہ تنبہ کی طرف بھی توجہ ہو اور تنبہ کے بعد اصلاح کی طرف بھی توجہ ہو۔ فرمایا محققین نے تصریح کی ہے کہ اخلاق ذمیمہ میں ریا سب کے بعد جاتا ہے، اور اخلاص سب اخلاق حمیدہ کے بعد میسر ہوتا ہے۔ ریا ایک ایسا مرض ہے کہ مرائی یعنی ریاکار مخلوق سے تو کیا خالق سے بھی نہیں چوکتا۔ مثلا جلوت میں اتفاقاً اس سے نماز کی تدوین میں ریا ہوئی، پھر خلوت میں اس عیب پر تنبہ ہوا، تو اب آپ نے کیا کیا कि खलवत में भी खालिक के सामने इसलिए तत्वील की कि अगर फिर जलवत में तत्वील करूँगा तो अल्लाह ताला उस वक्त की तत्वील सलात पर इल्ज़ाम न दें। नऊज़ु बिल्लाह मिनर रियाइल ख़फ़ी वल जली, आमीन। अखलाक, इखलाक नहीं अखलाक, इट इज़ अखलाक। अखलाक क्या होते हैं? हमारी पर्सनैलिटी के एट्रीब्यूट्स, हमारी पर्सनैलिटी। व्हाट इज़ अखलाक? आवर पर्सनैलिटी। There is two kinds of qualities in our akhlaq, positive ones and negative ones. And this is all revision from what we have already done many times. Akhlaq Razeela and Akhlaq Hamida or Mahmuda. Praiseworthy, good, positive attributes of our personality, and negative ones. Negative ones are which? Which are, everybody knows, anger, showing off, considering others lowly, considering ourselves better, lack of love for Allah, more love for dunya, those kind of things. Love for wealth, love for status, showing off, the love of being heard, all of those things. So these are Akhlaq Razeela. So today Hazrat is, what we are reading is, Hazrat is telling us that what should be our approach towards these Akhlaq Razeela, these negative attributes of personality. The first sentence is Wujud Akhlaq Razeela. Wujud means the existence. The existence of these negative attributes of personality is not mazmoom. Mazmoom means condemnable. The existence of these negative attributes of personality is not condemnable. But what is condemnable is acting upon the requisites of these bad attributes of personality, negative attributes of personality. That is something which is condemnable, and manhi an means something that is forbidden. For example, the existence of anger is not condemnable. What is condemnable is that it is expressed in the wrong place, in the wrong moment, in the wrong situation. For example, before training, a person used to yell at people without reason, and now they only yell when there is a need. Not that the anger has totally been annihilated. And the evidence of this is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, La yukallifullahu nafsan illa wus'aha. That if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we read this ayah many times, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not burden a soul except for that which they are able to carry. So a person does not have it is not possible that these are totally annihilated and cease to exist. Anger never goes away, it stays there. For example, our desire to be with another human being, shahwat towards women, that does not go away. Similarly, the love for wealth, love for status, and those kind of things also don't go away. They all have their own place, and we have dealt with this in detail, that what is the right place of all of these things. Allah is saying that we do not burden a soul with something that they are not capable of. And when this has been placed in our personality by Allah, and Allah has announced this in the Quran, then it's not possible that these will be totally annihilated. And this is the reason why we understand that their existence is not the problem. Their existence is not the problem, their misuse is the problem. Therefore, Hazrat saying, हाँ उनको बेमहल सर्फ ना करने पर कुदरत दी गई है. And when we have been demanded not to use them in the wrong place, then we have also been given the power to control them. Therefore, we have only been made responsible, इसीलिए सिर्फ इसी की तकलीफ दी गई है. We have only been made responsible to control them, not annihilate them, only control them. गालिबन हज़रत हकीम उल-उम्मत फरमाते थे कि नफ्स जो है वो मजबूत सरकश घोड़ा है. Our nafs is a very strong horse. But if you control it, then you can use that horse for many benefits. But if the horse controls you, then where will you end up? So don't let the horse control you. Don't kill the horse, because how will you get to how will you ride? Control the horse. तो इन अखलाक़ रज़ीला के उभरने और उनसे मुतासिर हो जाने से गमगीन और नाउमीद हो जाना महज बेवजह है. When you have understood that the existence is not a problem and what is a problem is that we use them out of place. Therefore, when they boil, when they rise within us, or when we are affected by them, we are affected by them. For example, may Allah protect us. When we, let's take an example. For example, somebody is in a place of authority and they have no check over their anger, and they've been used to yell at people, and there's nobody. They used to express their anger and nobody is there to control them, to keep them in check. This keeps on increasing and increasing and increasing. This problem keeps on becoming bigger and bigger. Now, if they, for example, they start going to a place where they start realizing that anger is a problem and they start to work on controlling it. Now, a lot of times what would happen is that while they are struggling to get control over their anger, for a certain time, it will be very hard. And what happens is that when they, from inside them, when anger boils, or sometimes it would happen that they would be overpowered and they would go back to their own ways, old ways, for some instance, and they would unjustly express their anger somewhere. Then they will regret it later on. That why did this happen? I was doing so good. I was in such a right track. Why did it happen? Or why do I have so much anger? If it were that I did not have any anger. So these things, they keep on bothering us. But Hazrat is saying that when we have understood that the existence and that being there is not the problem, then we should stop worrying about it, or more importantly, wasting our mental effort, our mental capacity over this. That why is it there? Why does it come? Why does it bother me? Why do I have so much anger? Now apply this example to everything else. Shahwat, a person wants to use their capacities, right? Now, may Allah protect us, but may Allah, these are one of the few things of our mashayikh that I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Ya Allah, make it wrong in our case, make it wrong. Hazrat used to say that, Hakim used to say, it's a famous, his people know it, that his sheikh once said to him something. He said that Hakim याद रखना, अगर गुनाह कर लो और तौबा कर लो तो और तुम्हारी तौबा कबूल भी हो जाए, तुम्हारी तौबा कबूल भी हो जाए और तुम्हारा नूर वापस भी आ जाए, जो गुनाह करने की वजह से नूर ज़ाया हुआ था वो वापस भी मिल जाए और अल्लाह के प्यारे भी बन जाओ. फिर भी गुनाह करने की वजह से तबीयत जिस चीज़ से मुतारिफ़ हो गई, तबीयत जिस चीज़ से इंट्रोड्यूस हो गई, जो चीज़ तबीयत को जिससे एक्सपोज हो गई, वो तुम्हारे लिए प्रॉब्लम बनी रहेगी और उसके लिए उससे ज़िंदगी भर लड़ना होगा कि जब कभी वैसा मौका सामने आएगा तो वो सारे मनाजिर पहले आ जाएंगे और उनसे लड़ना होगा, तकाज़ा और ज़्यादा शिद्दत का होगा और ये मुजाहदा बढ़ता जाता है. गुनाह करने से ये मुजाहदा बढ़ता जाता है. अल्लाह ताला इसको हमारे लिए आसान फरमाए और हमें इससे महफूज फरमाए. हज़रत सेड दैट हकीम अख्तर रिमेंबर हिज शेख हैड सेड टू हिम, हज़रत मौलाना फूलपुरी रहमतुल्लाह अलैहि हैड सेड टू हिम दैट हकीम अख्तर रिमेंबर that if you commit a sin, if one commits a sin and they do tawbah and their tawbah is accepted and they get their noor back and they become a beloved of Allah, still one thing remains, which is that what the nature, what the personality or the nature has been exposed to, it has got the taste of it. The next time it is presented, to control yourself will become harder. You will have to have a bigger fight, a more difficult fight, controlling yourself and staying back from it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for all of us. Ameen ya Allah, and protect us from these challenges. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. Anyway, so what I was saying is that if this comes and this happens to everybody, then we should not worry about why is it so. Or even if I'm affected by it, I should not keep on constantly thinking about that. Rather, I have to understand that it is there. क्या है वो तुंदी बाद मुखालिफ से न घबराए उक़ाब, तुंदी बाद मुखालिफ से न घबराए उक़ाब, ये तो चलती है तुझे ऊंचा उड़ाने के लिए. That if the wind is strong, then do not be afraid. It is there to make you fly higher. It is there to make you fly better. Anyway, so one should understand that the reason why Allah has put these things within us, it is because we have to sacrifice, and the more we sacrifice, the more we gain nearness to Allah. So what Hakim Akhtar Shaykh was saying, if Allah grants us that control, then the more the mujahada is, the more is acceptance in the eyes of Allah. The bigger the sacrifice, the closer you get to Allah, the more valuable you become in the eyes of Allah. But difficulty increases. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. But we should not be worried about it. We should not spend too much time thinking about it. Why do I have so much shahwat? Why do I have so much desire? Why do I have so much lust? Why do I have so much anger? Why do I have arrogance? No, these things have been created by Allah. They will be there. What we have to worry about is, are we controlling them or not? If we are controlling them and using them in the right place, then we are good. अक्सर लोग अखलाक़ रज़ीला को ज़ाइल करते हैं, फिर अखलाक़ महमूदा पैदा करते हैं. Hazrat saying that frequently people try to erase these bad habits or bad akhlaq, bad attributes of personality, and then start cultivating the praiseworthy features of personality. Our Hazrat, which means Haji Sahib Rahmatullahi Alayhi, used to say that izala bilkulliya nahi chahiye. We do not need to erase them or annihilate them, because when you need this, then what will you do? There are certain places where you need this, the halal possibility or halal rights that have to be fulfilled. Then, for example, if somebody does not have any love for status, then how will they live a respectable life? How will they safeguard the honor of themselves and their family, themselves and their family? So there is a place for everything. Similarly, if a person does not have anger, then how will they do jihad? How will they hate kufr? How will they hate things of kufr? Similarly, a person does not have desire, then how will they fulfill the rights of their better half? So therefore, Hazrat used to say that we do not, this is not the intent of Allah, that we totally erase and annihilate the existence of those attributes, because when we need them, then what will we do? Rather, we want ta'deel. Ta'deel means adl. Adl is putting a place where it belongs. Ta'deel chahiye. We need to control it in such a way that it is put where it belongs. सिफ़ात ज़मीमा अपने महल व मसरफ़ पर हों. महल वो कैसल जो होता है ना, पैलेस जो होता है, उसमें कोई रहता है, द प्लेस, सिचुएशन, वेयर इट इज सिचुएटेड. सो बैड क्वालिटीज़, और नॉट बैड क्वालिटीज़ बट रादर नेगेटिव or condemnable qualities, if they are in their own place and at the point of their function, then they are not bad. If they are out of place, then they are bad. For example, stinginess. If it is done in a good place, then it is bad. But if it is done in a bad place, then it is good. That a person spends in the path of Allah but does not give chanda to a cinema or those kind of fawahishat, right? Any things of evil. So that is where you have to be stingy. रज़ाइल का इज़ाला न करो, सिर्फ इमाला काफ़ी है. Do not annihilate or totally erase the negative qualities, rather only subdue them. गर्ज़ इज़ाले की फ़िक्र ज़रूरी नहीं, इज़्मिहलाल भी काफ़ी है. Only weakening them is enough. Erasing them is not enough, it is not required, only weakening them is enough. मगर इज़्मिहलाल के लिए इसकी मश्क़ ज़रूरी है. But to weaken those, one has to practice, one has to struggle. और मश्क होती है कसरत तकरार से. And the practice is done by frequent repetition. Frequent repetition of what? Frequent repetition of words. More importantly, frequent repetition of the action that goes against the requisite of that evil or condemnable attribute of क्या नाम है personality. ये ना हो कि al-hayy idha salla yawman intadhirul wahi, that a person goes against their desire of nafs for 2 days and then starts waiting for wahi or thinks that I am now perfect. The beautiful thing, the specialty of repetitiveness, repetition, is that one day inshallah this evil quality or bad quality will become weak. बाज़ हुक्मा इस नुक्ते को नहीं समझे. Some wise people did not understand this. They say that adat, a person's, and this is a big discussion actually in tasawwuf, in the circles of tasawwuf as well, that the personality of a person is formed way before they come to a shaykh. Because the formative years of life, when you are prepubescent and entering into adulthood, those you are not exposed to necessarily that environment, and the personality has been formed. And a lot of times we see evidence that personalities are written in the person. Two children who have the same parent and the same surroundings, one of them is very fun loving and one of them is very quiet and keeps to themselves. We've seen this, right? In our children we see this, that one of them, the same house, same family, same people, one of them is very outgoing, very fun loving, very joyous, jolly, and the other one just stays to themselves. So personalities are in fact part of the person themselves even before nurture starts to play it, or the surrounding starts to play its role. So this is a major discussion, that if personality cannot change, and may Allah bless Hazrat Rahmatullahi alayhi, that this is a big question that he's answering here. That people say that if the personality is not going to change, then what is the point of mujahada? Then what is the point of struggling against it? Hazrat is saying that many wise people did not understand this and said that because habits do not change or personalities do not change, therefore mujahada is needless. There is no point in doing mujahada or struggling. मगर वो ये नहीं समझे कि आदत के खिलाफ आदत हो जाने से पहली आदत कमज़ोर हो जाती है. You had one habit and you worked on developing another habit. Then this second habit will weaken if it is against the first habit. If it does not change it, it will weaken it. It will reduce it. आदत के खिलाफ आदत हो जाने से पहली आदत ऐसी कमज़ोर हो जाती है गोया थी ही नहीं. And there comes a point where they become so weak as if they never existed. So the personality, yes, that's true. That is actually mentioned in the hadith of Prophet ﷺ as well, that the personality does not change. There's a hadith that we read in the tafsir that the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that I am, I don't remember the words exactly, but he said that I am willing to accept that a mountain will be moved from one place to another, but I am not willing to accept that the personality of a person will change. Something to the effect of that. But that's true. The personality does not change. But growing other habits, cultivating other habits weakens the previous habits. They don't change, they are there and they will keep coming. And that's the challenge. That's the fun part of it. That they will keep coming, that they will be there. But if you keep on struggling and working hard against the requisites of those habits or the requisites of that personality trait, then they will become so weak as if they never existed, although they will be there. And sometime at some point they will come and you have to fight. And this is the reason why we say that suluk is this, that in the beginning you have to struggle a lot. In the beginning you have to struggle a lot. And then with constant struggle and repetitive struggle, Allah gives you control over those things. Allah makes it easy then. Just like a child starts their lesson in the day, during the day, it becomes hard for them. But by the end of the day, they have repeated it so many times that it becomes easy for them and they memorize it. मशाइख़ तरीक़ के यहाँ दिन रात ऐसी नज़ायर मुशाहिदे में आती हैं कि मुजाहिदात और कसरत मुखालिफत से अखलाक़ रज़ीला गो मादूम नहीं मगर कल अदम ज़रूर हो जाते हैं. And Hazrat is saying that these examples, this cannot be denied, because we have seen so many examples of this, that with sincere struggle and for a certain duration, person keeps on struggling, then the negative attributes of personality, although they do not cease to exist, but they become so weak as if they were not there. And that example, there is one famous example of Shabhik, rahmatullah alayhi, that I mentioned, that he had come from a Nawab and a very wealthy family we used to respect. The first day that the cleaning lady threw her trash on him, he got up and slapped her. A month later, 15 days later, he only looked at her with anger. Then 15 days he asked, "Are you okay?" He asked the lady, "Did you hurt yourself? Did you hurt yourself?" So this is how things change with the struggle and mujahada. और ये तरीक़ा ऐसा आसान है जो हर शख्स के इख्तियार में है कि अपने क़सद व इख्तियार से रज़ाइल की मुखालिफत नफ्स किया करे. And this is such an easy way, such an understandable way, and which is within each of our control, which is that we, with our forced intention, with our intention, with our plan, with our control, we deliberately go against the desire of the nafs. Okay. फरमाया कि अखलाक़ ज़मीमा के इलाज में सिर्फ ज़िक्र व शुगल की काफ़ी होने के लिए मेरे दिल में एक नई बात आई है. हज़रत मेंशनिंग समथिंग ऑन द साइड हियर दैट ओनली ज़िक्र कैन बी इनफ फॉर subduing these negative parts of the personality. As I was saying, that one thing came in my mind which I had not thought of before, which is that because when a person does zikr, qalb mein qisam ka noor wa inshirah wa inbisat paida hota hai. Because of zikr, a person feels a light and goodness within, and when they commit a sin, that goodness is taken away and darkness replaces it. So the person really feels it, that my life was so good and now my life is full of darkness, or this is specifically I was feeling so much noor and so much goodness and now it is darkness. So therefore that beautiful feeling that they had before, now it is gone. So they are reminded, they are warned about this sin, and then they start hating the sin, because this sin became the cause of going away of that noor and that state of goodness. So therefore they become aversive and they start hating the sin, and they start staying away from the sin, and slowly and gradually a person becomes aversive to all sins. Therefore saying that this is also one way that zikr alone becomes enough for giving up the sins and giving up the bad habits. But the question, the condition is that a person should be that type of a person that they are warned about things. It's not that you are in a state of noor or you are in a state of darkness, you have no feeling for it, you are not, you cannot palpate it, you cannot feel it, then what's the point? Or a person should have this sense that my noor has been snatched away because of my sin, so I should give up this sin. If that connection, that link is not there, then this is not going to work for them. One more thing, फरमाया मुहक्किकीन ने तस्रीह की है कि अखलाक़ ज़मीमा में रिया सब के बाद जाता है और इखलास सब अखलाक़ हमीदा के बाद मुयस्सर होता है. Hazrat is saying that the people who have dived deeply into this, they have clarified that among the bad attributes of personality, showing off or riya is the one that goes after all the others, goes at the very end. And ikhlas, which is the opposite of riya, ikhlas is doing sincerity, it comes after all the good attributes, it comes last. Riya or showing off is such a sickness that a person who shows off, they do not only make excuses before creation, they are not afraid of making excuses before Creator himself. For example, a person was praying and he made his prayer long because somebody was looking at him. Now when he's praying alone, he would also make his prayer long, so that Allah would not catch me for making that prayer long. Then no Allah, this is true me, this is real me, that I pray longer. So as I was saying, that they basically make excuses in front of Allah as well. They are not shy of making excuses, that if what is going on in their mind is, this Hakim ul-Ummah rahmatullahi alayhi, this is true meaning of Hakim ul-Ummah speaking. And he said that when he's praying alone now, and he remembers that I prayed long when somebody was seeing me, so now he'll pray long alone as well, so that next time I can make a long prayer when I'm being seen. So I can say to Allah, in my head, I can say to Allah that I also prayed long when I was alone. May Allah protect us, and may Allah always protect us from all sorts of showing off. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Any general question? No? Yes. जी. नज़र कहाँ होनी चाहिए? अच्छा. There's 3 stations that are mentioned. One is that when a person is standing, then they should be looking where the nose touches or where they do sajda. When they are in ruku, they should be looking at their big toe. And when they are in sajda, they should be looking straight down or at the nose. And when they are sitting, that's the 4th position. When you are sitting down, then you should be looking in your lap. Any other general question relating to this subject? Okay, jazakallah.